both Indians and foreigners are underinvested in India. If I take the foreign ownership also, on our 5.5 trillion odd market cap, they barely have $800 billion in India. US is 62% of the world market cap, which is north of what, $120 trillion. So if India doesn't even have a trillion invested by overseas investors, and it's clearly an economy which will be 10 times its size in the next 20 years. So the bulk of profits of India lie ahead, not in the rear view, like you've seen in the developed world. Even in the greatest market, which is US, the profit cycle is being boosted now by the magnificent 4, I would say, not even the magnificent 7. And that's clearly a market which is climaxing, and it can't be 62% of world market cap. India, with barely now, what, 4% of global market cap, is still too tiny for foreigners not to be invested. And we suffered because emerging markets as a class died out with the fall of Russia, Brazil and China. And they could not attract money for emerging market funds. I think we will start becoming part of global portfolios. So don't give up faith on that the foreigners won't come back. You may have seen an outflow, but it's 1% of the total stock that they're holding in India. 10 billion is about 1.5% of what they hold. I think they'll come back massively. And as far as Indian retail is concerned, for I think last 20, 30 years, not just me, but all my colleagues in the market, have waited for this moment where Indians decide asset allocation, of which, of the $1 trillion roughly which we save, half was going to real estate and gold, which is not really compounding for you, unlike financial assets which can come with a dividend coupon or an interest coupon and so on. And in that, equities is today still getting only 50 billion. Even the 4 billion inflow a month is only 50 billion. It's 5% of my asset allocation. So I think this is a trend which is going to continue for long. The financialization trend of India, that the savings are growing and more goes to financial products, whether it is banks, whether it is insurance companies, whether it is capital market products, I think everyone is on a secular uptrend, and this trend can only accelerate from here, which was the case for calling out there may be a bubble over here. The good news is capital supply response is meeting it. Promoters are selling from abroad as well as India, private equity is selling, and companies are coming out and raising capital which they otherwise would not have had access to, which gives you the next round of burst of earning growth as well, because you'll create those capacities.
You've always, over the years, shared examples of US and China.
Sure.
China in terms of penetration level and where our potential is,
Right.
US in terms of trends. If both are to be used as a reference point for Indian retail investor, both the Chinese market
Right.
in terms of speculation and US investors in terms of investing, can I say that we barely have 12-13 crore Demat accounts.
That's right.
And 5 crore unique portfolios?
That's right.
It can easily double from here
That's
in 3
right.
to 5 years?
That's right.
So we have a long way to go.
Yeah, I think it's a long way to go. Sometimes valuations run ahead of themselves, so I'm not making a case for anything right now. The valuations certainly in quartile 2, quartile 3 are, in quartile 3 and 4 are not as lucrative as it is in the larger companies, and that's why I think all of us in the markets have been saying that don't get your asset allocation wrong, that normally it's a 75-25 mix between large and small. Today, what's happened by sheer performance is it's probably gone the other way around, where the mid and small have become 75% of portfolios and large have become 25. So just rebalance that a bit. Having said that, in each sector, typically 4 or 5 companies take away 70-80% of profits, and it's repeated across sectors. It will also inevitably happen in even in capital market products. And you're seeing that play out already. The subsidiaries of the banks and maybe 1 or 2 outside the banking sector are now leading in the capital market mutual fund space as well. But I think there's enough years of growth ahead for, like I said, the entire financial space.